In this video, we're going to be going over the 5 pros and the 5 cons to living on the Lakeshore in West Michigan, and it's coming up right now. For thanks to doing Sights to See, you are now watching Live Great TV, and I'm your official host to Living Great in Grand Rapids and the West Michigan area. My name is Vaughn Greyhouse. Hey, if you want to know more about the Grand Rapids area and what it's like to live, work, and have fun in West Michigan, make sure you hit that subscribe button, slap that notification bell, or at least just hit the like button so you won't miss out on all the brand new videos that I put out each and every week. Because honestly, I love making these videos for you, but even more than that, as a licensed real estate agent in the state of Michigan, I love helping you make that transition over to the West Michigan area. So that number and that email coming across your screen right now, that's my direct contact info. And yes, I am the one who answers those calls and messages. So feel free to reach out with any questions, comments, or concerns, and I'm happy to help. All right now I'm at the Holland State Park. It's pretty windy out. I'm loving it. It's a beautiful day. And I wanted to go over the 5 pros and 5 cons to living on the Lakeshore, because I have a lot of people who reach out oftentimes and they just want to know, what is it going to be like if I happen to decide to move or get a vacation place in the West Michigan area. And so it's just my honor, my duty to be able to help you make that transition smooth. Shoot it to you straight, the stuff you like, the stuff you probably won't like, so that way you can make an educated decision and reach out if you want to, finally make that move. For me especially, these are in no particular order, but I definitely wanted to make sure that I go over the things that are most important that I've noticed, and I've talked to others who have noticed as well. Pro number one is living on Lake Michigan. Now, Lake Michigan is one of the biggest freshwater lakes. It might even be the biggest freshwater lake in America for sure, and it's one of the most beautiful lakes as well. And we sit right along, if you live on the lakeshore of West Michigan, we have South Haven, we have St. Joe, Saugatuck, Grand Haven, Holland, all the way up into Ludington, Traverse City, all the way up the coastline. And it's absolutely beautiful when you want to move to the Lakeshore. I talk to some people and they hear this and that. They see the Pure Michigan commercials and they don't really know what to expect, because Michigan is kind of one of those states that's like very subtle, but when you're here, it's absolutely beautiful. And living on Lake Michigan, growing up on Lake Michigan, just having so many memories of running down the hill at Tunnel Park or coming out to the Holland State Park and flying a kite, especially on a day like this. It's absolutely beautiful. So you can fly a kite and just have a great time. The fishing's great out here. The boating's great. Living on Lake Michigan, it provides its own lifestyle. So that is definitely going to be pro number one to living on the Lakeshore. All right, we're getting into con number 1 of living on the Lakeshore, and that's going to be that it is kind of away from everything. There aren't really a lot of commercial stores, or like your Walmart or your Kmart or whatever type of grocery store you want to get to. It's a little ways away. Now, if let's just say I'm in Holland right now. If you want to travel to get to the Lakeshore, you're gonna drive probably a good 5-6 miles to get directly onto Lake Michigan and be on the Lakeshore. But you have areas such as Wakazu Wood and some of the inland communities, Macataw Legends, some of the inland communities that you can easily have access to. But at the same time, it is a ways away from just your everyday grocery store or gas station. You got to travel a little bit to get to it. And that's just going to be con number 1 that came up for me. All right, pro number 2 to living on the Lakeshore is definitely going to be the beautiful sunsets. Now, since we are facing west on Lake Michigan, the sun rises in the east, sets in the west, we get the beautiful sunset. So coming out, if you're riding your bike, you're getting some ice cream, getting a corn dog, or you're just setting up a picnic, or you want to have a romantic dinner like right on the lake, you're easily going to be able to access the sunset. And a lot of people from in town will travel just for the sunsets. They're absolutely beautiful. Some people just even sit in their car just to enjoy the sunset, because it is almost like you want to take a picture. And people do take pictures, but it's not the same. So it's one of those things that a lot of people really look forward to, love it. I've grown up with it, so it's kind of one of those things where I kind of have to like reset and actually realize that not a lot of people get this. So it's definitely something you don't want to take for granted, and it is definitely pro number 2 to living on the lakeshore. All right, con number 2 to living on the lakeshore is going to be that at nighttime it gets super dark. So if you're not someone who really is okay with that or don't like that, it might be a little spooky for you. Just get a really good flashlight and you'll be in good shape. But being out here and the fact that it's a little ways away at nighttime, it kind of has the perk of like, if you're out, you know, at whatever you're at, either your house or your beach house or cottage or whatever, at nighttime you can get to see the stars and the constellations and really get to enjoy the beauty while you listen to the waves crash. And it's just an awesome experience being out here. If you don't like, if you don't like it to be dark out here, that's definitely something you're going to have notification of. Make sure you get good lighting, good flashlights, especially outside of your house or your cottage. Make sure you can see, you don't be bumping into anything. So that is definitely going to be con number 2. We're going to get into pro number 3. Pro number 3 is that privacy here is welcome. A lot of people like to come to this area, and the fact that some people just want to be to themselves. They really want to just kind of, hey, it's them and their family, or they're spending money to be out here, you know. They want to have that privacy, and the great thing about it is, if you're a private type of person, you want to have your peace and quiet, read a book, or just hang out. You don't want a lot of commotion going around. The way that they build homes, and even in some of the communities, I'll notice that they'll use a lot of trees, or they'll use different layouts to their property, maybe having uneven grading on their housing, so they actually can have that privacy. Putting fences up, people are totally okay with that. No one has an issue with it. So just know that if you come out here, you're not going to be, you know, in everyone's way, and privacy is welcomed here. So you don't have to be afraid of, you know, putting a fence up if you don't have to. So con number 3 is going to be, with living out here, the lot sizes are limited. So if you're looking for a very spacious acreage type of setting, you may not find it as much. I know some of the people who live out here will buy another lot or plot of land next to where they live, just so they don't have, you know, so they have more space. But generally, the lot spaces are not as big, and a lot of times you'll need to build higher as opposed to building further out to the side. So just know that as you're looking at purchasing property, or just vacationing here, or just being out here, you're living out here, the lot sizes are limited. They're not that big unless you go more inland. Then you're going to start to see the lot sizes pick up, be a lot more spacious, especially as you get towards West Olive or in the more rural areas. That's definitely one of the things as a con, as living on the lakeshore, so the size of those lots are limited. Pro number 4 is going to be that the waves in the wintertime, they freeze, and they are so cool. So there's a lot of waves that come out here as you're on Lake Michigan, you're on the lakeshore. You can see the waves freeze over. You literally can like walk, you'll like walk, if you, being careful, if you walk along the lakeshore and the water, you can actually go into where see the waves over your head, and you got to be very careful. Always, you know, proceed with caution out here, but it definitely is attraction for when people are living inland. They want something to do, come out, see Big Red. If you can see Big Red, it's somewhere over here on this side. You probably see it in the background, but in the wintertime, it's absolutely gorgeous out here just to view it, but at the same time, it's kind of boring. Just you know, whatever. But you definitely want to come out and enjoy those. Con number 4 is going to be that the wintertime in Lake Michigan, on Lake Michigan, is kind of boring. In the wintertime, you really, as you're living on the lakeshore, this place really comes to life during the summer months. But as you're going into the winter months, a lot of people are snowbirds. They'll take off. They just won't want to be in West Michigan anymore. They want to go to Arizona or Texas or somewhere like that, so that they can actually enjoy the summertime. But winter out here, it dries up. It's not that busy, not a lot of commotion. Some of these along the lakeshore will be like a ghost town. So got some big boats behind me. But winters on Lake Michigan, definitely something you want to look out for. All right, we're going into pro number 5. Pro number 5 is going to be that there is a great sense of community all along the lakeshore. If you're living on the lakeshore, whether you're in a private development, private community, or you just are living somewhere along the lakeshore, you will get to understand that it's like almost like that small town feel where people who know each other, they just kind of look out for each other. Hey, I'm gonna leave my stuff here, so just look out for it. Or if people who are getting acclimated to the area, they'll meet a friend or meet a neighbor, and they kind of look out for each other. That's sort of the culture in West Michigan. A lot of people are just generally pretty nice here. I don't know how else to say it. Maybe it's like Southern hospitality, but in the north. But most of the time, especially summer, because we spend so much time in the winter being cold and cooped up, when we come out, we do Michigan, we do summer really hard here. So everyone's happy to be out. Everyone's excited to go fishing or boating. And I know I have a boat at the marina, so I'll get to come out in the water, and people, they just wave at each other as they're passing by. And it's just a great culture here that's very welcoming. And I always let people know, if you're coming to the area and someone happens to wave at you, they don't mean any harm by it. Just wave back and say hi. It's just kind of what we do here. So just make sure you keep that tradition going. And that is going to be pro number 5. All right, we're going to con number 5, which is going to be the lake effect snow. And also, as you're living on the lakeshore, that lake effect snow will really get to you, because more inland, they won't experience all the snow that comes about during the winter months. And it really piles on thick, especially in the winter time. If you get into January through March, just expect to be cold, and maybe 1 or 2 days you're probably gonna get snowed in. It can get bad, but lately the summers haven't been too bad. But ultimately, there is a lake effect snow that, being in Grand Rapids, we don't see it as much as you do on the lakeshore. So just know that if you live on the lakeshore, it might be a day where you got to have the plowman come get you out of your house. So that's definitely something I want to give you a heads up on as you're making your way out to the West Michigan area, that lake effect snow. And I don't want to forget to mention that when you're out here, even in the summer months, the weather pattern can be kind of deceptive. So if it says 85 on the weather, the forecast, or whatever app you're looking at, you might want to pack away like a long sleeve shirt or a sweater, just as a heads up. Because if you get on the water, the weatherman might say it's 85, but then you come out here and it feels like it's 65. Just a heads up, so you don't freeze when you're coming out on the boat. I know when we hop on the boat, I always pack a sweater just in case the weather decides to change or some clouds start rolling in that we don't expect. So it can be a little bit deceptive. But ultimately, those are my 5 pros and my 5 cons. I just want to give you a heads up so you know what it's like to live on the lakeshore. If you're making that decision, feel free to reach out again. For things to do and sights to see, this is Live Great TV, and I'm your official host to Living Great in Grand Rapids and the West Michigan area. My name is Vaughn Grayhouse. Hey, if you want to know more about the Grand Rapids area and what it's like to live, work, and have fun in West Michigan, make sure you hit that subscribe button, slap that notification bell, or at least hit the like button so you won't miss out on all the brand new videos that I put out each and every week, because I love making these videos for you. But even more than that, as a licensed real estate agent in the state of Michigan, I love helping you make that transition over to the West Michigan area. So that number and that email coming across your screen or in the description below is my direct contact info. Yes, I'm the one who answers those calls and messages. And with that being said, we will see you on the next video.